Good morning and welcome to July's Sparkly Challenge. I'm going to be going over mica with you guys today. Before I actually get into it, I wanted to show you some of the potential of what mica can do. Mica is a huge medium. It comes in many different shapes and sizes. This is a pendant that I did using mica that I actually picked up in the driveway and I peeled flakes off of. I'm hoping that shows up well. But it's something that occurs naturally here in New Hampshire. You can find great big books of it like this, and you can peel layers off, and I sprinkle them and peel them and I put them on my marver so that I can pick them up easily. You can also purchase mica in this really finely ground form. Pixie dust is another form of mica that has had coloring added to it, and most of the pixie dusts are really easy to use on glass, either on the surface or inside of it. This is mica flakes that have been tinted gold, and it is also one of my favorite mediums to use. A little piece of frit in there. Makes for a really pretty internal piece. You can see some of the glitter inside this wing. That is the gold flake. I get that from Howiko glass. Really pretty stuff, comes in different colors. The silver mica will give you glitter in pretty much any color that you put it in. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I have a couple of blanks made up and I'm going to show you how to apply glitter to them. One of the things you need to remember with mica is you have to work at a low temperature. If your flame is giant, like some of us are, some Boro workers that I know but won't mention, other people who work hot or with big torches, mica tends to burn off. So you got to turn it way down. You can see my candles, well maybe you can see my candles are quite low, and it's really a medium that you have to work with very cool. So I have a blank here, and I can tell that it wasn't at a high enough temperature. It has cracked inside, so I'm going to heal it before I attempt to put the mica on it. It may pop off on me, but let's see what I can pull off here. It's tricky working with blanks. It's easy to get them ready and stack them up and everything, but if your pre-warmer isn't really hot enough, when you put them back in the flame, they crack. But this one's healing up pretty nicely. So the second part of working with mica is you have to have your clear, your encasing ready to go. If you leave it on the surface, it leaves a texture. If that's what you like, great, leave a texture. But if you're going for that internal sparkle, then you want to have your encasing ready, because you can't put your mica directly into the flame. No matter how low your flame is, it will burn off or singe or turn dingy. So you want your clear ready to go when you scoop your mica. I chose a dark blue, a cobalt blue glass, and I'm going to put the silver mica on this one. It's all hot. My clear is liquidy and ready to go and heated partway up the rod, so it'll move quick. So once you get it nice and hot, your bead is ready to go. You give it a roll. You can put on a little, you can put on a lot. It's up to what you want. Tap it off while the bead is still hot. Start your encasing. You cannot put the bead back into the flame if you want the best sparkle on your mica. The mica will tolerate it to a certain point, but you'll see it actually start to burn. So if you really want it to look good and sparkly and sharp, don't let it get back into the flame. Encase it quick. This is a good opportunity for those of you who need to practice your encasing. So there you go. For the sake of this, I go left to right because I'm a righty and I can see it better. I can see the bubbles or where I've missed. Mica is not a good candidate for starting in the center and pressing the glass out with the heat, because you'll burn what's on the side. My clear cracked, no big deal. You can reach up, get rid of it, and start warming it, because there are going to be spots. I guarantee you there will be spots. Mica likes to bubble. If you get it too hot, it will bubble a lot. it also will tend to try to come to the surface. So while you're trying to melt your clear and get it all the way around and make it pretty, be prepared for it. Have your clear ready to go. Remember your insurance heat. Twirl it while you're getting your clear ready. There we go. Now I saw a bubble. There it is. Fill my bubble. And that's pretty much the extent of it. That's how you get mica and glitter into a bead. You're gonna be encasing it with quite a bit, so make your center bead small. If you make too big of a center bead and then add the glitter and then add the encasing, you're gonna have a big bead. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to spend a lot of time perfecting this one for you because I want to show you the other types and ways to use the different types. So basically, that's the gist of it. I'll finish this one off just so I have something to put in the kiln. At this point, you can turn your flame up. You can get things going. Remember, don't adjust your flame while your bead is in it, because you're paying attention to your flame, not your bead, and that's when you melt or lose it and your bead tends to fall apart. So take your bead out, adjust your flame. Good idea to keep your clear ready so that if anything bubbles up, it's at this cooking stage that things will start to bubble, and you want to be ready to squash it down. I'm just cheating, shaping quick because I want to move on to the next one. Whenever I encase, I tend to heat one side over the other so that one side will hold its shape and I can measure and balance the shapes. But that's part of encasing, which we will be doing that challenge another month. Alright, now I can see that there's bubbles coming, and I'm not interested in dealing with a lot with that right now. I want to move on to the flakes. So I'm just going to wrap this one up, just so I have something pretty I can put in the aquarium. Oh, saw a little flare of a bubble or mica there. Now if you really want to see it, if you really want to enjoy that glitter, and you have a lentil press, this is not a lentil press, but you have a press, this is the time to do it. There we go. Take off the chill marks. And voila, you have glitter. So we're not going to shape that, we're not going to do anything fancy there. I just wanted you to see the technique, but you can see how pretty that looks before we move on to the next one. Okay, let's see, which blank do we get? Aha, we got red. Now, remember your torch, your flame size. Turning everything way back down. I'm introducing a cool bead. I do not want it to crack and pop off because it is hot. May not be torch hot, but it is hot. It's been sitting in the kiln for a while. So we're just going to keep moving it. This one is light brown. I believe, yes, this is an effetry, moretti, whatever it's being called these days. Please forgive me. This is light brown, which when it's hot looks blackish. So it's kind of hard to tell when it's at a workable stage until it starts to glow. Getting my clear ready. This one I'm going to use the larger flake because the larger flake is a little tougher. And I want you to see the difference. So we've got the bead back up to glowing temperature. I'm heating my clear so it'll be all ready to go. That is essential when working with the bigger flake. You also do not want as much of the bigger flake as the others, because obviously it's bigger, but also because it's going to stick up. It's not going to lay flat like the other pieces did. There we go. Okay, tap off the extra, bring it back up, and start your encasing. Remember, you cannot put it back in the flame. You can if you put it way, way out far and just heat it, but it takes forever to get the bead itself back up to temperature. But I'm going to pause here for a sec because you already know what I'm doing. I want to show you what'll happen. See how the mica glows? If you hit it with the torch, it'll burn it right up and it'll look cloudy and not very pretty. It takes the shine away, especially stuff that's been colored. So our goal is not to do that, obviously. Our goal is to keep the pretty color. If you go to a craft store and purchase mica in all the fancy colors, it has been my experience that those colors burn off. They don't hold up to even proximity in the flame. So you can try it. Who knows? Maybe you can pull it off. If you find a color that works, please let me know, because I love glitter, I love color. But don't spend a whole lot of money on it until you've had a chance to play with one or two colors. I have found the more bright and exotic the color, the less it works. I have seen recently mention of Lumiere lusters. I have yet to try those, but I intend to at some point because they look like a blast, and if they work and keep their color, oh, I can't wait to try those. So if you get a chance, Google that. Somebody try those out. Let me know how they do. And here we go. Now that I'm encased, I can increase my flame and make it nice and round. I see some bubbles forming. The larger flakes are going to tend to bubble more, so be prepared for that. So there's a bubble coming. You have a couple options. You can poke it, you can be prepared to let it pop and then dollop some clear over it. Whatever your favorite technique is, whatever floats your boat, do your thing. They're your beads. It's your thing. Alright, the last thing I want to show you is how you can change the color of the item that you're working on and still keep the pretty glitter under there. Okay. So anyways, I tend to just try to finish things a little bit. They don't have to be perfect, but I hate having half-formed beads. It just seems like a waste. So anyways, what we're going to do here, I call these amber beads. I gotta rewarm my bead, but I gotta turn everything down first. We're going to be using some of these larger flakes that are actually from my driveway, and I'm going to be using an amber colored transparent glass. I have chosen a white base because it tends to make the amber color seem brighter. You can add color underneath these and then put the mica on top, or you can put the mica on top and then do frit. The frit will push the mica out of the way, and it kind of makes it look like granite with veins of crystal. That's a fun way to go. I've done many beads like that look like granite or geodes by using frit to melt in and push the crystal out of the way, or the mica out of the way. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, the bead is molten. You may not be able to see it, but I can tell from here. So I'm going to pick up a few of these bigger pieces. I've got a lot on there, and that's okay. The point is, I'm going to heat them, and as they cook, I'm going to kind of just push them in. It does not smell good, so warn anybody in your house that this is what you're doing, or people are going to be running around, something's on fire, something's on fire. Well, yeah, something is on fire, but it's been on fire millions of years ago, and that's that. Okay, now I've got my clear rod. If you cook it too much, it's going to go cloudy. You just want to keep it warm. I should have had my clear rod, transparent rod ready to go. Keep it warm. Always insurance heat. then you're going to go in and you're going to cover it up. Now, when you encase the bigger pieces like this, it is very, very important that you encase them deep, because these are going to bubble a lot. Not just the stone, but the encased or entrapped air underneath them is going to want to come out as you heat it. So you really want to encase these kind of heavy. So if you're early on in your encasing training, these are good ones to play with, because when you're learning to encase, we all tend to encase heavy. So don't be afraid to try these. There is a lot of mica on this one. I kind of picked up too much, but that's okay. Like I said, everyone is different. This will give us a fractured inside, you know, like an amber look, which was my goal. I love doing things with this soft amber glass. It just, to me, it's a rich, earthy color, and that just attracts me. So I do a lot of stuff with amber and warm tones and transparent grays and lots of browns. I'm an odd duck. Okay, so I'm pretty well encased. I'm just going to round it out, and then I'll give it a smush so you can see it. In the meantime, I'm going to turn my flame up. I'm also going to take a second and clean my marber. It's my favorite tool, and the next time I go to use it, I don't want to have mica accidentally slip into whatever else I'm doing. Try to maintain your workspace, keep it safe, keep it clean. Doesn't have to be immaculate, obviously, but here come our bubbles. Okay, with these I like to use my tungsten pick because these are big bubbles. You can let it pop. You can help it pop. Take out the extra piece. Whatever works for you. Have your marber ready. There we go. And start again. The idea being to fill in, see, here comes a bubble. Be ready for it so that when it pops, you can fill it in or use the glass around it. It's just gassing off is all it's doing. See, now I've got the bubble, the hole there. So smush it around, fill the bubble in, and we're good to go. So that's the gist. That's the idea of it. I don't want to take up your time too much. But that's how you use the bigger pieces. And they need to be, when you pull them apart, they need to be very thin a layer as you can get. If you have a really thick book of it in there, it'll cause the glass to crack. Mica does not have an assigned COE. I have found that you can use it really heavily if, and that's the big F, if you encase it well and if you peel the books very thin. Alright, for the sake of visibility, I'm going to try to squish this one so that you can see what's going on inside. And then I will show pictures of this after the video. Here we go. Handy dandy, good old barbecue mashers, gotta love them. Yep, that has a horrible shape, but that's okay. I should have used my Graceful Customs mashers like I did on the last one, but I was going for expediency. And as it cools, you'll be able to see the rainbow or the silver effect underneath the color. So that's how you use mica. If you have any questions, or you have any ideas, or you try the Lumiere lusters, let us know. I would love to know how they come out for you, and I'm looking forward to seeing your results.